What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about season 4 of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. So just a couple weeks back I actually uploaded a review for Camp Cretaceous season 2 and 3 that I had actually watched within the last few months and was catching up on, and I knew that the season 4 drop was going to be coming very soon, and then I missed the initial drop, so I wasn't necessarily in a rush to get this review out. But now that I've caught up and I've seen season 4, I figured why not drop my review here for the 10 people on my channel who actually enjoy hearing me talk about this series. If you're not familiar with what Camp Cretaceous is all about, the first season takes us to the events of Jurassic World, or at least takes place side by side with the events of Jurassic World, as we see a group of young teens who are going to be the first ever who are part of Camp Cretaceous, a summer camp where they're going to be able to experience dinosaur things at Jurassic World. And so we have a group of characters that we follow from that first season to now, as they've been trapped on the island with the dinosaurs for over 6 months. And I won't be talking specifically on specific spoilers that happen in this season, big story developments or anything like that, but I will be talking a little bit loosely about things. We're on the 4th season now. It's kind of hard to review it without talking about some things that happen in this season, but don't worry, if you are a fan of the show and you haven't gotten around to the season yet, you don't have to worry about me spoiling any sort of big plot points or anything like that. But yeah, one of the biggest criticisms I've had about this show at the very end and beginning of the seasons that have come before this are that at the very end of all the seasons, our characters have just about gotten to the place where they are going to finally escape the island, and then the next season will literally start with something that kind of puts them back at square one or just brings them back to the island. And so the very beginning of this season does something very similar, and I was kind of worried that I was just going to be bummed with this season. Overall, this has been a show I've enjoyed, and I've enjoyed it more and more with each season as I've fallen more in love with these characters. I think DreamWorks has done a good job with the animation and the characters overall, but for a while there it just felt like something I wasn't able to really fully connect to, because a lot of the characters, since they are young and this is for a younger audience, very much lean into very trendy things that they say and do that I'm not necessarily 100% disconnected from, but feel very young, feel very much for the kids of today, and doesn't necessarily connect with me as a long life Jurassic Park fan. However, there has been so many phenomenal moments across the course of this show that do lean into the nostalgia and definitely honor the franchise and Jurassic Park overall. So with that said, going into this series, I was definitely excited to see season 4 and see what they would do. And like I mentioned, at the very end of last season they had an opportunity to escape, and at the very beginning of this season there is something that kind of reverses that and gets them back on the island. Except this time around they're on a different island. The last 6 months that they've spent in the story has been on Isla Sorna, which is the main island that we are all familiar with when it comes to Jurassic Park. However, this time around, when they crash land back onto another dinosaur island, they don't necessarily know that they're on a dinosaur island at first, but very soon recognize that they are on Isla Sorna, the second island, which we do see in some of the films, which is really awesome. So it was nice to go back to that place and be able to see what Isla Sorna looks like now during Jurassic World times, and kind of see some of the technology that they're using to deal with dinosaurs in this whole realm. So right out of the gate, this was a little bit different on the sense that you're going to a whole different island that has a different purpose when it comes to the dinosaurs. Isla Sorna is known for being the one with the park on it, and kind of being where everything is kind of gone to shit. The dinosaurs are roaming free, and it's a little bit more of a natural environment for them. Isla Sorna was known more as where they would breed the dinosaurs and do a lot more of the scientific stuff, even though there were dinosaurs that were free to roam on that island as well. And so in this season, we find that things are very different. Once again, we're focusing on our same characters from the previous seasons: Darius, Brooklyn, Yaz, Sammy, and Kenji. And I'm actually really happy to say that I kind of have a different take on certain characters now, which is great, because there were certain characters that were just annoying to me for a big part of the runtime of this show, show thus far that I just felt never really grew and never really learned, and there was characters that I enjoyed for a majority of the runtime and a couple that I started to enjoy a little bit more. But I can happily say now after this season that I think I genuinely enjoy all the characters in this show for the most part. They've all kind of grown on me, and I think they've all had proper character development in certain areas to really flesh them out. The biggest surprises for me, without a doubt, walking out of this on a character level, was that I wasn't the biggest fan of Darius in this season, as I found him to be a little bit insensitive of the other people that he's kind of dealing with at times, though I still enjoyed him in the show. But I also found myself really into two characters that I wasn't into in the previous seasons, and that is the character of Brooklyn and the character of Kenji. Specifically Kenji, he was just a very arrogant, just dumb character throughout the course of majority of this show. I think if somebody started watching the show today based on my recommendation and saw the character of Kenji, they'd likely wonder, how could I possibly ever like this guy? But I'm happy to say that the writing around his character and Brooklyn's character, and a big arc that they give their characters in this season, actually had me pretty invested, and the way that this season ends had me even more invested when it comes to the character of Kenji, and just kind of looking to see what they do with the future season. Overall, I've kind of had a huge turn on this show, where it's gone from being a cute Jurassic Park show that I enjoyed for the first season that kind of got a little samey with season 2 and 3 with big moments that I enjoyed, though, with season 4 being a really cool season that changes things up. I don't want to get too much deeper into anything else that happens, but when they do arrive to this island, they meet another scientist named May, who they end up finding out is actually working for the company MANTAH-CORP, who actually was the company that was blackmailing the character of Sammy earlier in the show. We find out that MANTAH-CORP has some sort of secret kind of agenda in terms of the dinosaurs and the various scientific things that they're dealing with on this specific island, Isla Sorna, and that there are some pretty nasty people at the top who don't care about the dinosaurs or anybody else that gets in their way. Overall, I really enjoyed this season. I found it to be a good time that fleshed out the characters in a new way, did something different with the story, and ultimately left me excited to see what's coming next. The stakes were heightened, and ultimately I think what I really enjoyed about it is that it flips certain things on its head, and it puts us in a situation where these characters that seemed a little one note are starting to become a little bit more human as time goes on and as we learn more about them. Again, I really want to praise the writers for making me enjoy Kenji and Brooklyn the way that I did in this season, and I think it really comes down to the writing. Overall, this season had a lot of really great Jurassic Park moments, maybe not as much on the nostalgia and a lot of that the other seasons did, but I think that this one definitely had its foot in nostalgia from time to time, and it was great to see different dinos in this, and there was definitely some real tension heavy moments where the stakes definitely were heightened. Overall, I did enjoy this season, and I do highly recommend this show if you've never seen it before. One other thing I definitely want to mention that you can see in some of the marketing that I definitely found to be interesting here is that one of the threats that our characters have to face over the course of the season are some robots, and I won't talk too much about those robots, but it was interesting to see robots be a threat in the Jurassic Park universe while also having dinosaurs be a threat at the exact same time. I found it to be a pretty interesting, different kind of scientific sci-fi take to Jurassic Park, something we haven't seen in the movies, and overall I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the rest of the show. So I didn't mean to ramble on for as long as I have about this. I wanted to keep this way shorter than it is, but it is what it is. So a big thanks to you guys for watching. Please leave your comments down below. Have you seen season 4 of Camp Cretaceous? Are you enjoying this show? Has there been any change in you in terms of how you feel about the story and the characters? And do you agree with me that this season felt different and cool, and I kind of hope that we get more of this moving forward? Either way, definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, so please hit that like button, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.